is Isabel Spüler, and I am one of the national contact points for the Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions. Today, it is my pleasure to have Magdalena Bohutínská as a guest. She is a global fellow at the University of Bern and at the Charles University in Prague. Thank you so much for being here today, our guest.
Thank you for inviting me.
I wanted to ask about your writing process for the Marie Curie Postdoctoral Fellowship. So at what time in your research career did you write the proposal?
So I already started in the final months of my PhD. The idea was I would summarize what would be my postdoc research ideas. I practiced the writing, find out what the scheme is about, and then year afterwards I would write it for real. I applied already the first year and I got it immediately.
Oh, that's great to hear. But it took some time for the writing. How many months did you write the proposal?
I took 3.5 months. It was helpful to have more time because it gave me some flexibility to wait for feedback from people, from supervisors, grants offices. It wasn't like pushing the last minute thing.
Yes, that's very wise. So how did you know about this Marie Curie Fellowship? And also you are a global fellow, also a particular scheme within the fellowship. How did you know about this?
I knew several friend researchers who had Marie Curie before me. I heard it's a good and prestigious scheme, so it was a good motivation to apply. My own PhD supervisor was a Marie Curie fellow before, so that was extremely helpful because he could share his experience. And the Global Fellowship, that's the fellowship when you go outside Europe or associated countries, and then you need to return back for the final year. I knew one friend who was in Canada and in Germany. I didn't expect it's going to be my case with Switzerland, but it turned out
Yes.
that I need to apply for this one.
Yeah, you applied in 2021 when we saw that Switzerland is actually a non-associated third country. It was the first year in Horizon Europe. So what did this actually mean to your writing process to have a global fellowship?
So the extent of the proposal for global fellowship is the same one as for the individual fellowship, but you need to explain the interaction between two different institutions and how the three-way transfer of knowledge between you, your outgoing phase supervisor, and your incoming phase supervisor would kind of work together.
Yes.
So it's a bit more coordination, explanation, but otherwise it's the same.
So you had good contact with both supervisors in the writing process, I understand. So how was the choice of the supervisor?
So my primary choice was for the outgoing phase, because the incoming was kind of added additionally in the end. And the outgoing phase, I knew that it's going to be very laborious to write this proposal. So I wanted really a perfect fit with the team. And I searched everywhere and had multiple criteria. First was that I wanted a perfect fit with what I am interested in, which is repeatability of adaptation in evolutionary biology. I wanted an institute where there would be multiple teams in the evolutionary biology, so I have a lot of interactions behind the core team. And I also wanted somebody who I get a nice feedback on, a project leader which I would know it's nice, it's easygoing with the employees and so on, because I wanted to have the fellowship as a nice experience.
Yeah, so you found a good supervisor at the
Yeah, I found it, exactly. I found it in Katie Peichel here in Bern, and I'm very happy about the choice.
Oh, that's very good.
And then maybe to finish the process, I didn't know her before, I just found her. I contacted her, she was positive in supporting me in writing, and we put it together. Additionally, I found a supervisor in Prague, which I needed to add as a return phase later.
Yes, very good. So you said the supervisors supported you in the writing. That's already great. Did you also get additional support in the whole writing process because maybe this fellowship is not just about science, as you have noticed.
Yes, for this, the interaction with grants offices and national contact points of both countries and both universities was very crucial, because the proposal writing, or the proposal is structured in 3 parts. First is very scientific, it's called excellence. And then there are 2 additional ones which are more about the project management and communication of the results. It's called implementation and impact. And these are also very important for the evaluation, but maybe as scientists are not that well trained to write a high quality parts here. Mm-hmm. And this is where the grants offices can jump in and give a very useful advice.
Yeah. So you also took advantage of the services that you got from the grants offices. And I also remember you attending our applicants training, and you were also in contact with the Czech NCP, I heard.
Yes, this is one of the advantages of the global fellowship, that you get help from 2 different institutions and countries. And that was exactly in my case. So I attended courses focused on preparation of the applicants, both in Czechia and in Switzerland, which were nicely complementary. And then I sent my proposal in the later stage to grants offices of both Charles University and University of Bern, and I got very useful feedback there.
Oh, that's very good to hear. So now let's come to the present moment. You have already spent almost both years of your outgoing phase. You still have time until summer, and then you go back to Czechia for the return phase. Can you share, you're not in the middle, but you have already had some experience. How was the fellowship so far for you?
Scientifically, it was a great experience. The team of Katie Peichle, it's very engaging, scientifically interesting. The whole institute here in Bern, it's great. So I feel I got a lot of new input and ideas, and also expertise, thanks to this mobility.
Yeah.
So that helps. I also like Switzerland. It's a beautiful country. We love outdoor activities, so it's a great place to be. The only difficult part is maybe the financial aspect, but that is, I heard, going to change.
Yes, the country correction coefficient will change in the future, hopefully. And I wanted to also ask, so the global fellowship, many see it as a challenge to prepare because you have 2 supervisors to include. Can you comment what, in your perspective, is an advantage and what is a disadvantage?
So the biggest advantage is that you have the additional 3rd year. 2 years are quite a short time for a postdoc, and at my stage I would already need to worry about what the job is going to be for me in the future. Now I can go way more deeper into my projects. I can still develop new things because I know, well, there is going to be more than a year in front of me. So that's a big advantage. The disadvantage is slightly more complicated coordination of the teams and more challenging writing process.
Yeah. And you said you have 1 more year in your fellowship, so you don't have to worry too much, but can you give us an insight? What is your vision after the fellowship when you're done with the whole global fellowship?
I want to stay in academia. I would like to slowly become more and more independent researcher. I want to do it in my home country, which is the Czech Republic, which is also the return phase country. It should somehow follow up nicely after each other. And I want to, for sure, keep a close interaction with researchers in Switzerland because I had a really nice interactions here, and I hope this will stay for the future.
Yes, that's beautiful. I think also the network and collaboration stay after a 2 or 3 years fellowship. So thank you so much for giving us insight into your experience of writing and doing the fellowship. I wish you all the best for the future of your research career. Thank you so much, Magdalena.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.